Hi, I'm Jason Debly, and today's whiskey review, it's a Sunday afternoon, a little crisp, cool air in Canada where I'm living, New Brunswick, just north of Maine, USA. This afternoon, we're going to review Johnnie Walker Black Label. And the reason we're reviewing Black Label is because I had a reader or a viewer ask me if the flavor profile has changed recently. So we'll investigate that. I also coincidentally acquired this bottle because a friend of mine lost a bet to me on the outcome of a recent election in New Brunswick. So let's look at this classic blended Scotch whiskey. Comes in at 40% alcohol by volume, as you all know. There is some chill filtration and artificial color, no doubt about it. It's a 12-year age statement. The ingredient single malts that Diageo are using are never really officially declared, I don't think. But the general suspicion, or from the chatter on the internet, and what I've read and what I taste, I used to think I tasted a lot of Talisker in this, but lately they say it's Kyle. There's also Glenkinchie, Cardew, and a whole bunch of grain whiskeys from distilleries that Diageo own purely for blending purposes, and other single malts of lesser renown that just go into blending and work well in blending. And I'm trying to think if there's any others that make a big play in Johnnie Walker Black. But I think there are, and I can't remember them right now. So we're going to now try this. The wife texted me about something, but we will respond after the review. Okay. So I haven't had anything to eat or drink for about 3 hours, so my palate is really kind of clean and ready to really, it's a fine instrument now that's ready to appreciate this whiskey. On the nose, there's a bit of sea air, definitely some smoke, some wood char, sweet peat. You know, the nose is surprisingly good. Better than I remember. I haven't had Black Label in a long time where I've really just kind of evaluated a bottle. On the palate, this is tasting sweeter than I recall in past years. Not as much emphasis on caramel or cinnamon. There is cinnamon here, cloves, nuts. It has a creamy aspect to it. On the finish, you get the heat. Not a bite, but a bit of a tingle on the finish, kind of a menthol, cigarette, or spearmint gum coming through on the finish. It tastes less smoky than it did years ago. So, has it changed? Methinks yes. It's changed a little bit. Johnnie Walker Black, over the years, I've noticed, sometimes, for the most part, is an extremely consistent blended whiskey. One of the most consistent in the world because they so mass produce it. But it is an organic substance at the end of the day, and it is prone to some variation. What I'm noticing now with this one is it tastes lighter in body. And I also tried another bottle 2 nights ago. Not the whole bottle, but some of it at with a couple of friends of mine, and Black Label was on the table, so I tried it there. And it's confirming my suspicion right now. It tastes lighter. Now, what do I mean by lighter? Less of the smoke and peat that I recall from years ago. And I think years ago, when I say years ago, I'm talking 15 years ago, I thought that Talisker played a big role in Black Label. I might be wrong because Diageo don't disclose what goes into this blend, or not very much, but I thought it was Talisker at one time. But recently they're talking more about Kyle, I can't pronounce that, never could, never will, but you know what I mean. And it's softer, and it wouldn't surprise me. Like, I really do think the taste has changed. It also used to taste a lot more, besides having more depth, and it could also be a bit bitier, a little rougher. I'm not saying this is not as good as that. It's different. I find this is more approachable, more mainstream, more smoothed out, which Diageo wants to sell as much as it can. So, I'm trying to think of another blended scotch that did a big 180-degree change in its flavor profile. And right now I can't remember it. Black Bottle. Black Bottle years ago was a real peated whiskey, a real Isla blend. And then Black Bottle, they reintroduced it, totally changed the ingredients, single malts, and grain whiskeys. And it turned into something really boring and not peated and no Isla influence. I'm not saying this is as radical a flavor profile change. But Black Label tastes not bad. It's good. It tastes a little lighter, and it's still got the smoke there. I guess less caramel, less cinnamon. It's not bad. It's good. I'm just gonna pour a little. Oh, there's a cat down there. His name's Rex, and he was going to jump up on me, but I had swatted him away a few minutes ago. So, Black Label years ago, I always like to add a little water. There. That's Rex behind me. He's always exploring. So let's try this with a little water. Really softens it out, but not in a bad way. So the verdict, Johnnie Walker Black has changed. I think it's different than it was, say, 15 years ago. Is it a change for the worse? I would say not necessarily. It's nice. It's smooth. There was a period years ago where I thought Johnnie Walker was too strong or too smoky. Had a bit of a nasty bite too. It doesn't have that now. So the Black Label is still the gold standard of blended Scotch whiskey that all blends of 12 years age statement measure themselves against. I do recommend. Thank you for tuning in. And I've got a couple other whiskeys that I'm going to be reviewing soon. We're going to go Irish. And those whiskeys are Middleton Very Rare. I got a bottle. Cost a fortune, but I always wanted to review it. So we're going to review it. Haven't opened it. I'm going to open it on this channel and give you kind of my off-the-cuff observations on that. I also have a bottle of Yellow Spot, another great Irish whiskey, or always in my memory is pretty good. The green spot, the yellow spot, politically not correct, or maybe too realistic a title for a whiskey, Yellow Spot. But anyway, so I'm going to review those. I'm probably going to do Middleton next, Middleton Rare. There's a whiskey festival where I live, and they brought in 2 bottles, and I think they accidentally sold one to me because they're supposed to save it for the festival, but it was on the shelf. Jason sees it. Jason buys it. Thank God my wife doesn't watch this channel, because if she knew what I paid for it, I'd be living on the street. Okay, take care. Have a good one. See you soon.